Hey y'all, how many of y'all don't know who I am by now? You should know who I am. Kenneth Braswell, founder and CEO of the Season Collective. And I'm here with you today to have some more conversation with you. This is a season session episode. It's something that I've been wanting to do for a minute. Decided that I wanted to take some time to knock this thing out, to have this conversation. And so, a lot of the conversation and content around the Season Collective and the Season Session series is as a result of conversations that I've had randomly with people, talking about certain things. And it's like, wow, that would be a great, conversation, or would be a great session to talk about. And so, one of the things, or one of the conversations that's been high somewhat on the conversation list of things is people talking about the uncertainty, of these times, particularly, as we close out, a year and begin a new beginning in a new year. We often take time to start thinking about, what we've done, and we start thinking about the changes we're going to make moving forward. And so this particular season session is called Seasoned and Steady, acknowledging rising costs and emotional strain during these uncertain times. One of the things that, or one of the ways that I've been describing, what folks are going through is this whole notion of weight, right? Burden could be another term we can use, but it is weight. It's the weight of all of the things that cause us anxiety, cause us stress, that we worry about, that we just can't find a way to let it go, right? And it disturbs our equilibrium. But here's a question I have for you. What do you fear most about not having the resources to afford the cost of living? And I think that is the biggest thing that people are dealing with, is whether or not they're going to crush, under the weight of what's happening in society, whether it is the threat of losing your job, the threat of, costs going so high that you can't afford the cost of living that you're currently functioning under, and having to move, expenses coming with that, right? It's not easy to move. Listen, coming up in my younger life, I did a lot of moving, and that moving wasn't easy because you had to kind of think about, how am I going to find the next apartment, first month's rent, security, moving expenses, hunting down your friends to help you move your furniture back and forth, setting up your new gas bill, telephone bill, electric bill, all of those things. It's stressful to move. And I can only imagine what the stress is like when you got a full-on family that you're trying to move. And other things are causing you stress as well. So I want to talk a little bit about what this looks like, because there are some things that are not only happening to your mind, but sometimes that kind of stress could also happen to your body. A lot of people get sick during times like this, where their body is under strain from what is occurring in society. And so one of the things that we know about how uncertainty affects both mind and body is the fearful unknowns, those things that we just don't know what it's going to look like. Fear can overwhelm thoughts, filling the mind with worries about future and making choices harder. When you think about the craziness that's going on, and it's not, people want to politicize this conversation. Some of it is politics, but not all of it is politics. Some of it is as a result of changing times. Look at how many people are losing their jobs who work for companies where AI is beginning to take over job positions. And so there are a lot of companies laying off a lot of people, and it ain't got nothing to do with DEI. It ain't got nothing to do with politics. And it has everything to do with revenue and bottom line, right? And so things are moving. And so the society is rapidly changing, and it's creating these unknowns because we're watching all of this take place in full view, not knowing when it may impact us. So there's a lot of fear about the unknowns. And as a result of that, it's an energy drain, right? That constant thinking about what's happening zaps our energy, leading to mental fatigue that impairs our focus and decision-making abilities, right? And so when our energy is just, listen, stress is exhaustive. Oh my goodness, like when you're stressing like really about something, it's not, I ain't got to tell y'all how hard it is, to stress and when you're stressed. But during these times, stress can be an issue and it can drain a lot of energy. The other thing that can happen is chronic tension, right? Ongoing stress creates physical tension, disrupting rest and recovery, which in turn exacerbates emotional strain. So one is impacting the other, right? Your mind is impacting your body is impacting your mind, and it's a vicious cycle. Man, let me just, there is, when you think about, the cycle, of the strain that's occurring, and it really is, a cycle, and it's going like this, and unfortunately it's going the other way around. It's going this way too, and your mind is having issues, right? And then on the flip hand side of it, your body is causing you all kinds of issues, and this thing is just going around in a cycle. It's just like really impacting everything. So the things that you're thinking about, so one of the things that occurs to me, like I always think about when I'm stressing, and I'm sure it happens to many of you as well, like my neck tightens up, right? And that's why I can always tell that, I'm thinking about something and I may not be all the way aware of what's taking place, but my body is telling me that my mind is thinking about something unconsciously that's resonating in my body. And as a result of that, now I can't sleep at night, right? And not being able to sleep at night, now I'm getting up, in the morning and I'm tired, and you're tired, you're not thinking right. And so all kinds of, this thing is just a vicious, cycle, and it's just going around and around and around and around and around. And at some point, it hits that center target, and it's as the old gangster movies would say, it's curtains. And so pay attention to that, how it impacts that. And then we talked about like the rest disruption, that it really does have an impact, on your sleeping patterns, and then that impacts everything. And so this is a difficult time, and we're going to talk about some of the things that you could do to release from some of those, but I want to talk about those because you really should be mindful of where it's coming from, and then those symptoms and things that are happening that could say to you, that you're really stressing about something. But there are some practical steps to stabilize your finances during uncertainty and reclaim your peace of mind. And so here's just a couple of things that you can do. One of them is identify and prioritize your essential expenses to streamline your budget effectively. This part of it is in being a good steward, right? Being able to look at your budget, to right size what you're spending, to look at how elements of your budget is draining your budget, right? One of the biggest things that I notice in my own life that drains our budget, and we're not really thinking about it because we're kind of in the moment of convenience, but as a result of that moment of convenience, it's costing us a lot of money. Think about every time you order food online, whether it's Uber Eats, DoorDash, any of those things, the prices are ridiculous. I remember one time buying a pizza, and it was just a regular large pizza and a few wings, and it's like $70. And I was like, yo, this is crazy. And so now I'll order it online, but I'll go and pick it up because you literally can save like $30 depending on how far the restaurant is away. And so you have to really begin to start looking at your budget and looking at how things are draining your budget. One of the other places that our budgets get drained is all of the fees and things that we're paying for online platforms, specifically when it relates to entertainment. Like we got 8 apps and cable, and you're paying fees on your apps, and you're also paying fees on your cable. And you're probably not watching them at all. Like for me, I have all of those things. I'm the worst perpetrator of what I'm talking about, and I think about and work on this stuff all the time. And it's sometimes for us, it's just about access, right? We just, when I want to watch it, I want to have the ability to watch it when I want to watch it, when you never watch it, right? The other thing is to cut non-essential spending to create a cushion for emergencies or unexpected costs. And so the cutting back on your budget may not only have to be for money that you're trying to free up for current expenses, but creating that nest egg for the just in case, right? That's something that I am narrowly focused on now, creating, and not only for my family, but for my business as well, like creating that nest egg for hard times so that you can still function through the hard time in order to get back to the prosperity. And then lastly, research available financial assistance programs or community resources that can provide temporary relief. It's okay. Hey, listen, when I was growing up, I talk about this, all the time. I used to kind of talk about how, I never saw my mother really suffer. I didn't know we were poor until somebody told us we were poor, right? And so, one time we came home and, our furniture was outside and we were young. I think I was young. I know my brother and sister was young. So we really didn't know what was going on. I'm like, why is our furniture outside? And I don't remember what my mother told us, but I know that I think we went and we spent the night with somebody. And then the next day we came back, the furniture was in the house. So whatever she needed to take care of, she took care of, and we got back into the apartment. But as I got older and understood what that looked like, because when I was younger, I had the notice on my door, 3 days to leave. I had those notices. So it was real time for me then. But she shielded us, from those things. And I think that during one of those occurrences, she had to go to social services to get food stamps. And so I know she did because I tell the story about, her asking me to go to the store and spending food stamps. But I also know that she wasn't on it long. She was that kind of prideful individual that she didn't want the government being in the mix of family matters. And so my mother was very smart. She was very, very skillful, very diligent, and she found jobs, really great jobs, in the corporate space. And so, and end up tapping into a nice little career and retiring, from it. But she did need that temporary relief. And so I know sometimes it could be somewhat prideful that you don't want to do that. But sometimes you got to do what you got to do to take care of your family. But let's talk about managing your emotional load as well, because that's part of one of the things that, really that stressful piece of what I'm talking about is in that mind. We just finished kind of talking about many of the things that attack the body, but let's talk about how you can manage your emotional load. One of the things that you can do is actually create a daily rhythm. Don't allow your day to be disrupted by your mindset that can throw off like your daily routine. One of those things that you should be mindful of during that time is procrastination, where you're just literally like sitting there and you're numbed out and you're not doing anything. And one of the biggest culprits today that support this whole notion of procrastination is social media indulgence, right? And binging, shows on, whatever the networks you're binging a show on. Because I call it a mindless release. Like sometimes I need a mindless release, something that's not taxing my mind, that relieves my mind of thinking critically or about a problem, that just allows me to kind of function in the moment without having to use a lot of energy. And so you want to make sure that you maintain your daily rhythm because that promotes stability and provides a sense of normalcy during these times. The other thing you want to do is, have trusted conversations, with people that can give you great advice, not always with the sense of I'm having this conversation because I need them to help me with something, but you really just kind of need an ear. Someone should know what you're going through so that they can intervene if it gets critical, right? They may not be able to help you financially, or they may not be able to help you with resources, but having a trusted person that can help you hold yourself together when you're going through these times is extremely important. Also, limited exposure. And this is going back to the social media and news, right? Reducing your news intake helps minimize anxiety, allowing focus on personal well-being rather than external chaos, right? Because social media can be chaotic. Watching the news is chaotic. Listen, we live in a city, and I've lived in cities in the past where the first 15 to 20 minutes of the newscast is murder, chaos, and dysfunction and all kinds of crazy things. And if you continue to feed your soul with those things, you can get wrapped up in what's happening in the world and attach that to what's happening in your own personal life, and overcoming what you're going through could feel like it is insurmountable. So you don't want to have your mind crowded with a lot of chaos. And so reading a book, writing, doing something creative, quiet time, having conversations, listening to music, any of those kinds of things that can kind of take you away from the daily routine of life. And then lastly, something that you kind of hear in meditation and places like that help as well. And that's breathing exercise, practicing mindfulness through breath focus exercises. It actually enhances calmness and recenters your emotional state during stress. So it's like the woosah, 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 right? And so This is one of the the crazy things is one of the there's a couple of TV episodes that kind of use these kind of things. Seinfeld is Serenity Now, Serenity Now. The Honeymooners, for those of you or anybody who knows the Honeymooners, it's a healthy man who grins. It's something, I can't remember that one, but it's a kind of cool one. But really, right, the best way to like do that stressful is this way right here, right? 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That's a 1, right? It looks like a 7, but it should be a 1. That's a 1, right? And if you can actually do, that 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, face went in the face, right? Sometimes it'll calm you down just enough, to get you past your anxiety moment. And so the whole notion in all of this is really just to reclaim your control and your strength. It's as simple as that. Mindfulness is probably one of the most critical things for you to think about. Just be mindful of the moment, not only the broader moment, but the more intimate moment as well. Like, know your stressful tendencies in your body. Know that when there are certain things happening in your body, that it means that you could be stressing. Like I told you before, for me, it's my neck. For many of us, it's headaches. Sometimes it could be an ache or pain. It could be confusion. It could be being tired. But know your symptoms, know your signs of your body, and reclaim control and reclaim the strength of your body. Hey, I'm praying for you. I know you could do this. I wanted to kind of talk about this because I wanted to kind of help somebody who really kind of needs some practical ways of thinking about how to disturb what's happening, within your mind and your body as a result of what's happening during these times. I hope that something I said today helps you. I pray that something I said today puts you in a better space and keeps you in a better space. Again, my name is Kenneth Braswell, and I'm the founder of the Season Collective, and this is a short season session for you. Thank you for joining us today. I hope you enjoy, and I also hope you learn something during your time with us today. I wanted to just take a moment before I close all the way out and connect you with some opportunities to stay connected with us. First of all, if you have not purchased my book, Too Seasoned to Care, I suggest that you do that now. It is the bedrock, the foundation of everything that I'm doing. It will stimulate you. It will heal you. It will help you. Make sure that you go to either Amazon, Audible, if you like listening to my voice, iTunes. You can also go to our website at theseasoncollective.com, where you can also get our workbook. And so some point down the road, I'll be doing some lessons and some conversations where I'll be using the workbook. We also want you to join our community. We have several communities that we have created in order to stay connected to you. We have our Facebook community, both our group and our page. We have our LinkedIn page that we're going to be using for our business-oriented content, our Instagram page, and our YouTube page, where all of our videos are landing at the moment. We also want you to go to our website and subscribe so that you can stay connected to us, so we can make sure that we send you emails, keep you up to date on things that happen to be popping with us, to keep you in the community. And we want you to continue to stay connected to us on Fridays at 11 a.m. for a new episode of either season conversations or season sessions, whatever happens to kind of pop up in the flow of the work that we're doing. Once again, thank you for joining us. I am appreciative of the time that you are spending within this journey, the season journey that we're taking together. I hope to see you again. Take care and God bless.